Welcome to Cupid's Corner, where love stories come alive. Sit back, relax, and let the tales of romance sweep you off your feet.
Coffee shop love. In the heart of a bustling city, nestled between graffiti-laden walls and the hum of hurried footsteps, stood a quaint coffee shop named Whispers. The scent of fresh coffee beans and pastries hung in the air, enticing passers-by to pause, if only for a moment, from the relentless pace of city life. Its charm was undeniable. Tiny potted plants lined the windowsill, soft jazz played in the background, and the staff knew most customers by name. This was a refuge for those seeking a quiet moment, a place to let the world slow down. On a crisp autumn morning, the breeze carried with it the scent of change. The golden leaves danced through the air, swirling down from the trees in a playful ballet. Inside Whispers, the hum of conversations mingled with the rhythmic clinks of cups being set down on saucers. The doorbell jingled, announcing Ella's arrival. She tucked her chestnut curls behind her ear, her brown eyes scanning the familiar surroundings, eager for her daily caffeine fix. She had her routine: walk in, order a caramel macchiato, grab a seat by the window, and catch up on emails before heading to work. But today felt different. Her gaze drifted from the counter to the corner table bathed in soft, golden sunlight. There, seated with a paperback in hand, was Lucas. His dark hair was slightly tousled, his sharp jawline softened by the relaxed curve of his lips as he smiled faintly at something in the book. Time seemed to slow. The world outside, rushing pedestrians, blaring car horns, and the ceaseless march of time, blurred. In that instant, Ella felt an inexplicable pull, like gravity shifting its course just for her. It wasn't just his good looks that caught her attention. There was something in the way he sat there, utterly at ease, as if the chaos of the world couldn't touch him. She wondered what he was reading that brought such calm. Lucas glanced up from his book, and their eyes locked. His piercing blue gaze held hers, and for a heartbeat, everything fell away. The sounds of the coffee shop, the bustling city, all of it dissolved into silence. A spark ignited, a recognition of something deeper, something timeless. He blinked, almost as if shaken from a trance, but his smile grew wider, more genuine, as if he, too, felt that same inexplicable connection. Ella's heart raced. She wasn't the type to approach strangers. She usually lived her life within the boundaries of predictability, but something about Lucas, about this moment, made her feel brave. With a deep breath, she crossed the room, her step steady but heart pounding in her chest. "Is this seat taken?" Her voice came out softer than she intended, almost a whisper in the quiet between them. Lucas shook his head, a grin spreading across his face as he set the book down, the cover revealing the worn edges of an old classic. "Not at all," he said, gesturing for her to join him. "Please." Ella slid into the chair across from him, her nerves buzzing with anticipation. She noticed the book. "Pride and Prejudice," she remarked, her own smile growing. "A classic." Lucas chuckled, running a hand through his hair. "Yeah, it's a comfort read. What can I say? I'm a sucker for the classics." She laughed, and with that, the ice was broken. What began as small talk about books quickly evolved into deeper conversation. They spoke of their love for literature, their favorite authors, the subtle charm of city life, and the allure of quiet spaces like Whispers. Lucas shared his love for storytelling, how each character felt like a friend, how each plot twist could still surprise him no matter how many times he'd read a book. Ella, in turn, confessed her passion for photography, how she captured the fleeting beauty in the mundane, in moments like this. Lucas leaned in, his voice lowering as if sharing a secret. "Maybe that's why we're here today. To connect." The air between them shifted, becoming charged with something electric, something unspoken yet undeniable. Ella felt her pulse quicken. This was more than just a casual conversation. Every word, every glance, held meaning. She could sense the gravity pulling them together, and she knew he felt it too. Before either could say another word, their phones buzzed simultaneously, pulling them back to reality. They exchanged a glance, laughing at the intrusion of the outside world. "Work calls," Ella said, her voice tinged with regret. Lucas smiled softly, but there was a hint of something in his eyes, determination. "Before you go, I'd love to see you again. Tomorrow, same time?" Ella felt warmth bloom in her chest. "I'd love that." The next morning, Ella walked into Whispers with a flutter of anticipation. Lucas was already seated at their table, a book in one hand and a coffee in the other. His face lit up when he saw her. She slid into the seat, and just like the day before, the conversation flowed effortlessly. It was as if they had known each other for years. Day after day, they met at Whispers, each morning blending into the next. Their connection deepened with every shared laugh, every story told over steaming cups of coffee. The world outside the cafe remained a blur, insignificant compared to the universe they were creating within those four walls. One evening, as the city outside hummed with its usual nighttime energy, Lucas invited Ella to his apartment, just a few blocks away. The thought of being alone with him, away from the public space of the coffee shop, sent a thrill through her, but also nerves. His apartment was warm and inviting, bookshelves lined with classics, a record player humming softly in the background. Lucas poured them both glasses of wine, and they sat on the couch, close but not touching, the tension between them palpable. As the conversation lulled, Lucas turned to her, his blue eyes searching hers. "I've been thinking about you," he confessed, his voice a low murmur. Ella's breath hitched, her heart pounding in her chest. "I've been thinking about you too," she admitted. Lucas reached out, his fingers brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. The touch was soft, tentative, but it sent a shiver down her spine. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away if she wanted to. But Ella didn't. She closed the distance between them, her lips meeting his in a soft, tender kiss. The world outside ceased to exist. In that moment, there was only Lucas, his warmth, his touch, the intoxicating taste of his lips. The kiss deepened, and Ella felt herself melting into him, her body responding to the desire she had tried to push aside for so long. They pulled each other closer, hands exploring, lips moving with a hunger that had been building since the moment they first met. Lucas stood, pulling her gently to her feet. He led her to the bedroom, their lips never breaking contact. The world felt right. The connection they shared, so instant, so deep, was now more than just words, more than just stolen glances across a coffee shop. It was real, tangible, and unfolding in the most intimate of ways. In the quiet darkness of Lucas' room, they undressed each other slowly, savoring every touch, every kiss. Their bodies moved in perfect harmony, as if they had always been meant to be together. The love they had danced around for days now found its full expression, each breath, each moan, weaving them closer together. Afterward, they lay wrapped in each other's arms, the city's distant hum a faint reminder of the world outside. But for Ella, the only world that mattered was here, in Lucas' embrace. As the morning light filtered through the window, bathing the room in a soft, golden glow, Ella knew that this was just the beginning. Their story had only just begun. And whatever came next, they would face it together, their hearts beating in perfect rhythm. The morning sun painted soft strokes of light across Lucas' bedroom, filtering through sheer curtains and casting a warm glow over the room. Ella stirred in his arms, her body still molded against his. For a moment, she let herself sink into the feeling, her cheek pressed against his chest, listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. It was a peaceful sound, one that made her feel safe, as if she had found something she hadn't known she was looking for. Lucas shifted slightly, tightening his arm around her waist. His eyes fluttered open, and he smiled down at her, a sleepy but content expression on his face. "Morning," he whispered, his voice husky from sleep. "Morning," Ella replied, her fingers tracing lazy circles on his chest. "How did you sleep?" "Better than I have in a long time," he admitted, his thumb brushing over her shoulder in a soothing motion. He looked at her for a moment, as if committing this moment to memory. "I still can't believe we found each other." Ella smiled, her heart swelling with the same sense of wonder. She had spent years in the city, moving through the same routines, never expecting that something so perfect, so right, could just fall into her life. She thought back to that first morning at Whispers, the serendipity of their meeting. It feels like fate, doesn't it? Lucas' eyes softened, and he nodded. Yeah, it does. They lay there for a while longer, tangled in each other's warmth, the outside world feeling far away. But eventually, reality beckoned. Ella reluctantly sat up, pulling the sheet around her. I should probably head home and get ready for work, she said, though part of her wanted nothing more than to stay in this perfect bubble a little longer. Lucas propped himself up on his elbow, watching her. I'll walk you, he offered. Ella chuckled. You don't have to. My apartment's only a few blocks away. I know, but I want to. He gave her that boyish grin that made her heart flutter. Okay, she agreed, her smile widening. After a quick shower and a hurried scramble for their clothes, they walked out of Lucas' apartment, hand in hand. The city was already alive, people rushing past, horns blaring, and the scent of fresh pastries and coffee wafting through the streets. But as they walked together, none of it seemed to matter. It was as if the world had shrunk, leaving just the two of them. They stopped in front of her building, the familiar brick facade a comforting sight. Ella turned to Lucas, feeling a pang of reluctance. I'll see you at Whispers later, she asked, though it felt more like a hope than a question. Lucas nodded. You'll definitely see me there. With one last lingering kiss, Ella slipped inside, already counting down the hours until she would see him again. As the days passed, their connection deepened. They met every morning at Whispers, sharing stories, laughter, and stolen glances that hinted at more. Sometimes they talked about books or their favorite films, but often, they just sat in comfortable silence, the world passing by outside as they savored each other's presence. Their nights together became more frequent too, each one a little more intimate than the last. Lucas would surprise her with a new jazz record or take her out to explore the quiet corners of the city. Ella found herself opening up to him in ways she hadn't with anyone before, sharing stories of her childhood, her dreams, her fears. And Lucas, too, revealed pieces of himself, his insecurities, his love for storytelling, and his hope for something real, something lasting. One Friday evening, Lucas invited her to a rooftop bar he knew, a hidden gem in the heart of the city. The view was breathtaking, the skyline twinkling with 1,000 lights. They stood together, leaning against the railing, the cool night air brushing against their skin. I can't believe how quickly things have changed, Ella said, her voice soft as she gazed out at the city. A few weeks ago, you were just a stranger in a coffee shop. Lucas turned to her, his expression serious, but full of warmth. And now I can't imagine not seeing you every day, he admitted, his hand finding hers. I've never felt this way about anyone before, Ella. Her heart skipped a beat at his words. She knew what he meant, because she felt it too, this overwhelming connection, this certainty that they were meant to find each other. But there was a part of her that still held back, a small voice of caution reminding her of how fragile happiness could be. I feel the same way, she confessed, squeezing his hand. It's just, everything's happened so fast. Lucas nodded, understanding in his eyes. I know. And I don't want to rush you or make you feel like this is too much, too soon. But I also don't want to lose what we have. I want to be with you, Ella. Completely. Ella's breath caught. She felt the weight of his words, the depth of his sincerity. And in that moment, she knew she couldn't let fear hold her back. She couldn't let herself walk away from something so real, so beautiful. I want that too, she said, her voice trembling with emotion. I want to be with you. Lucas' face lit up, and he pulled her into his arms, kissing her softly under the city lights. It was a promise, a declaration of everything they had found together. Weeks turned into months, and their lives intertwined even further. Lucas introduced Ella to his friends, and she brought him into her world. They spent weekends together, exploring new parts of the city, cooking dinner in Lucas' apartment, or just curling up on the couch with a good book. The coffee shop had become their place, a symbol of where it all began. But as their relationship grew, so did the complexity of their lives. Ella's work as a freelance photographer was starting to pick up, and with it came more projects, more deadlines. Lucas, too, was facing new opportunities, with a chance to work on a collaborative writing project that required more of his time and focus. One evening, after a particularly long day, Ella sat on Lucas' couch, her laptop balanced on her knees as she edited photos. Lucas sat across from her, typing away on his manuscript. The room was quiet, the only sound the occasional clink of cups as they sipped their coffee. Ella rubbed her temples, feeling the tension in her shoulders. "I didn't realize how much work I had lined up this week," she muttered, staring at the screen. Lucas looked up, concern in his eyes. "Do you want to take a break? Maybe we can go for a walk, clear your head?" She smiled at his thoughtfulness, but shook her head. "I can't. I'm already behind on these edits, and I have another shoot tomorrow." Lucas nodded, though his gaze lingered on her, his expression thoughtful. "I know things have been hectic lately," he began, choosing his words carefully. "But do you think we've been drifting apart?" Ella paused, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. She hadn't expected the question, but now that it was out there, she realized he wasn't wrong. In the flurry of their busy lives, they had started to lose the ease that had once defined their time together. She set the laptop aside and moved to sit beside him. "I think we've both been caught up in work," she admitted. "But that doesn't mean we're drifting apart. I still want this, us." Lucas took her hand, his thumb brushing over her knuckles. "I don't want to lose what we have. I know work is important, but I want to make sure we don't let it come between us." Ella nodded, her heart softening. "You're right. We need to make time for each other, no matter how busy things get." They spent the rest of the night talking, reaffirming their commitment to each other. It wasn't easy balancing love and the demands of life, but they both knew that what they had was worth fighting for. As the months rolled on, Ella and Lucas found a rhythm. They supported each other through the ups and downs, the long work hours, and the inevitable challenges. But through it all, their love remained a constant, a source of strength and comfort. One day, as they sat in their usual spot at Whispers, sipping coffee and watching the world go by, Lucas reached across the table, taking Ella's hand in his. "I've been thinking," he said, a soft smile playing on his lips. "We've built something amazing together. And I don't want it to stop here." Ella looked at him, her heart racing in anticipation. "What do you mean?" Lucas' smile widened. "I mean, I want to build a future with you, Ella. A real future. I want us to keep creating moments like this, but not just here, not just now. For the rest of our lives." Ella's breath caught. She hadn't expected this, but as the words sank in, she realized that this was what she wanted too. Lucas wasn't just a fleeting chapter in her life, he was the story she wanted to write forever. "I want that too," she whispered, tears of joy filling her eyes. And with that, they knew. Their love, born in the soft glow of a coffee shop, would continue to grow, transcending the everyday and becoming something lasting, something eternal. Their story had only just begun. The end.
Thank you for listening. Let's spread the love. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Because everyone deserves a bit of romance.